Oh, here's something. I want to talk about this. This is messed up. BBC. This is the, they're. This is over in England. The BBC changed rape victims' quotes to avoid misgendering her trans attack. Her rapist. Woke staff replaced every reference to male-born rapist as him, he, him to. Do you mean men cosplaying as women so that they can rape women? Yeah, that's what this is. The BBC was today accused of taking an unethical and disrespectful decision to change a rape victim's quotes in her account of the ordeal to avoid to basically let a man, oh, he's not a man. He identifies. No, he's a man that raped a woman. This is why the transgender thing is why the woke shit is garbage. Corporation bosses replaced every reference to the victim made to her her attacker being male because he says he's a woman. Yeah. And this is why women aren't women. Yeah. Only men can be women. Did you know that now? Just like only men can get pregnant, apparently. Unless you're talking about abortion, then it's, men aren't women. It's funny how they say shit like this, that, he identifies as a woman, so we won't misgender him. But if you bring up abortion, then suddenly, your penis is you're not a woman. Oh, it's hilarious how they play this shit. The BBC, the country, the police, all of it's 100% fucking crap. Their country is so fucking. It's a dead country. Yeah. It was claimed by some staff the decision was made following the input of members of its 14 strong central diversity teams, which had influence over the BBC style guide, which dictates that stories adapt an individual's preferred. Now I want to see what happen at the BBC. I want all these diversity people be put in a room with a transgender woman. Yeah, a man who says he identifies, and just one of these men accused of rape, whatever, that says they're a woman. Yeah, put handcuff their hands behind their back and let the guy have his fucking way with them. Let them get raped and then say, oh, sorry, that wasn't rape. However, it has been widely criticized by campaigners and senior journalists who reportedly said editing in this way conflicts with the corporation's responsibility in terms of accuracy and impartiality. Yeah, that's what I said. Why would anybody want to come and talk to you fuckers when you do shit like this? Why would women want to come forward and tell that they were raped by a man if you're just going to say, oh, well, he says he's a woman? And you wonder why I don't give a shit about the Alphabet Group or any of this stuff. Honestly, this month it could sink in the ocean. I wouldn't give a shit. The article carried the testimony of one rape victim, but the pronouns she used. Oh yeah, the article in question reported on claims from some lesbians that they have faced accusations of transphobia and threats of violence if they admit that they are not attracted to men. Yeah, lesbians not attracted to men. I'm not going to say this because these are not women. These are men. It carries the testimony of one rape victim, but the pronouns she used in recounting her ordeal was subsequently altered for publication. You literally insult the woman who came forward to tell you what happened to her, and you basically say, well, fuck you, you weren't raped. The passage of quotes on the site read, "They threatened to out me as a TERF and risk my job if I refused to sleep with them. With these men. With men. With men. They are not women, you fucking pedophiles." This is the same network, the same BBC that protected Jimmy Salvo as he was raping little kids. The same ones who covered up for the grooming gangs, because it turns out the men who were doing this, all from the Middle East, happen to be Asians. Oh no, but they're of a religion that has to be protected. Same one that commits terrorist acts all the time. Yeah. I was too young to argue and had been brainwashed by queer theory, so a woman, even if every fiber of my being was screaming throughout, so I agreed to go home with him. He used physical force when I changed my mind upon seeing his penis. Women don't have dicks unless they're born as she-males. But that's a woman with everything. Looks like a woman every way you wouldn't know until they take off. I mean, they have the breast, they have the body, physical type and everything of a woman. They sound like a woman, but unfortunately they were born with a dick instead of a vagina. That's the only difference. And he raped me. A TERF is an acronym for trans exclusionary radical feminist, a term which critics say has been used to overly broad fashion and in an insulting manner alongside violent rhetoric. Publication of the quotes in this way were said to have been the subject of heated debate. Basically, you minimize the victim. According to some, Angela Wild, co-founder of the lesbian campaign group Get the L Out, told the Time the BBC was wrong to amend the quotes. Yeah, she said, it's really unethical and disrespectful to the victim. Yeah, it is. It's a form of gaslighting for a woman who has already been through sexual violence. Yeah. The article was also subject to a number of complaints, with an open letter signed by more than 20,000 people, including some BBC employees, claiming the story was deeply flawed and incredibly dangerous for the whatever. I don't care about the trans community. Spokesperson said it's routine to have editorial discussions about different stories. Our only intention when deciding on language, oh, fuck off. You're pieces of shit. Like I said, these are the same assholes who covered up the Jimmy Salvo crimes. And, Gary Glitter. The corporation last year withdrew from a diversity scheme run by the Alphabet Group charity, Stonewall, due to the risk of its perception of bias. Really? Really? Your bias. Oh, we've known that. Director of National Rody Telfin, whatever, said the public's trust that the BBC can approach very complex areas with complete impartiality is the absolute bedrock of its decision making. Really, impartiality. Have you seen how shitty the BBC is? They look what they did to Doctor Who. You fucking retards. These people haven't been impartial in ever. No, they haven't. These are the same. I think this is the same, BBC that attacked Margaret Thatcher after she was dead, went after her, I think it was, and tried to make her look bad after she was dead, and protected the grooming gangs. The organization said in a statement last November that it would not be renewing its participation in the Stonewall Diversity Campaigns program, but will continue to work with a range of organizations to support the Alphabet Group. Stonewall has been approached for comment on the BBC's use of pronouns in their in this instance. It comes as the BBC has said it was wrong for a Radio 4 program to describe J.K. Rowling's opinions on gender identity as very unpopular. No, they're very popular. It turns out, yeah, a lot of people agree with J.K. Rowling on gender. The broadcaster received a complaint about an episode of Front Row on Radio 4, which was aired March the 24th. During a discussion about cancel culture, presenter Tom Sutcliffe said the Harry Potter author clearly has a very unpopular opinion regarding gender. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hey, Harry, we know you like to suck dick, so shut the fuck up. The Beeps exclusive complaints unit has now found the comment was potentially misleading. Really? Really? They ruled there was no conclusive evidence that those with a different view to Rowling represented a majority. Yeah, it was the other way around. However, they dismissed complaints that it was wrong to include her in a discussion which was included. What the fuck, you BBC? Which included sex offender R. Kelly, pedophile sculptor Eric Gill, and Adolf Hitler? Oh, fuck you, BBC. Yeah, the same ones who protected Jimmy Salvo. Yeah. And the grooming gangs. A BBC... Oh, wait. Sutcliffe was interviewing the philosopher Eric Hetala Matthews about his new book, Drawing the Line, which explores whether it's possible to separate art from the artist. He asked, and do you think there's a major philosophical distinction between artists who has committed crimes and has been found guilty of crimes and the artists who simply had unpopular opinions? You bringing up the case of Rollins, who clearly has a very... No, she didn't. Oh, because it went against your fucking retarded ass? Yeah. Regarding the gender identity, which is horseshit, and has, as a consequence of that, faced severe and serious criticism. Oh, you mean death threats too? Let's not... Yeah, leave that part out where they wanted to murder her. Are those the same thing? The BBC said it was fair to discuss Rollins in this... No, it wasn't. She hasn't committed a crime. And as she appears in Matt Mays' book, and the presenter distinguished her from the likes of Hitler and R. Kelly. She's not even... Her saying she doesn't believe in more than two genders is not the same as being the mastermind behind the Holocaust or being found guilty of raping. Yeah. In its ruling, the ECU said, in the ECU's view, it was legitimate to discuss Rollins because she's featured in the interview's book, a fact reflected in Mr. Oh, and compare it and put her in the same sentence as Hitler and R. Kelly. Yeah, go fuck yourselves. As to comparing her case to others, the ECU noted that Mr. Sutcliffe did so in the context of discussing between expressing opinions. Okay. What she said didn't get people killed or get somebody raped. R. Kelly was found guilty of some pretty fucked up shit, and Hitler was the mastermind of the fucking Holocaust, as Rowling had done. The committing crime acts, and considering that this was neither harmful nor offensive, the ECU agreed, however, that Mr. Sutcliffe's reference to a very unpopular opinion was potentially misleading because While it had clearly proved objectionable to some, there was no conclusive evidence that the objectors represented a majority. The ECU said it considered the matter resolved as the presenter had later acknowledged his mistake on air. Their ruling before the complaint reached the ECU, Mr. Scucklett had appeared on Radio 4 feedback and acknowledged that he should have acknowledged that many people share the very expressed opinions by J.K. Rowling, that he should have reflected that view. In the ECU's judgment, this was sufficient to resolve the issue and of accuracy and impartiality raised by the complaint. Rowling 56 has faced accusations of not a real word. She's not afraid of these people. What are they going to do? Since publishing an essay on her website in 2020, in which she argued that gender identity should not be given priority over one's biological, and she's right. But this whole thing goes back to this at the beginning. The BBC is fucking trash, and they prove it here. They minimalized a rape victim by, we have to protect the rapist. Yep, they literally protected a rapist because of his gender. BBC once again proves it's actual trash. So yeah, this is Gilgamesh. I just want to talk about this real quick. Have a good day.